The Bible predicts EMP attack on America. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, and we do so in the name of His only begotten Son. It's Priest Hakai, aka Deacon Genesis, Big G's, not the little ones, here to feed the little ones, back at y'all with another one. It's kind of like the other one, and it's been a long time coming, y'all. The Bible prophesies of an EMP attack on America. It's been a long time coming. Make sure your spirit is in the right place. Make sure you're aligned with the Most High. Make sure your house is in order, because nothing will be able to protect you, hide you, shield you from the plagues, the thunders, the trumpets that are about to happen in the end times when we deal with the biblical prophecy. We're going to focus today on a passage in the Bible written 2,000 years ago in the book of Revelation by John the Revelator, specifically chapter 16, where it talks about an EMP event happening on America. Oh, you guys didn't know America was in the Bible? If we had time today, we could talk about how it does speak about North America. It talks about the land of the North. It talks about the North Country. And the reason why we know, it talks about Mystery Babylon in Revelation, that will be the last kingdom ruling the earth. So we do understand that. And it also talks about in Revelation chapter 6, the fourth part of the earth. That's America. In the ancient world, they believe the world was a three-part earth, or a three-part world, which would be Europe, Africa, and Asia. Finding out that there was a fourth part of the earth in the Americas. And so you have America being alluded to, not by name, of course, but poetically and prophetically all throughout the Bible, specifically in prophecy. Okay? So in Revelation chapter 16, you're going to see that this is clearly an EMP event. And now we're going to have to figure out where this EMP event will take place. It's going to tell you. So in Revelation chapter 16, we're going to start at verse 8. It says, "And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire." Sounds like a solar flare, right? Because it is. But this is a disastrous one. Verse 9, "And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of God, which hath power over these plagues. And they repented not to give him glory." Now watch what follows after the solar flare. Verse 10, "And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain, and blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pains and their swords, and repented not of their deeds." Why is there a solar flare first, and then this kingdom goes completely dark? It makes sense, right? Because an EMP, which is an electromagnetic pulse, can happen from a nuclear attack or a solar flare. So it would make more sense prophetically and contextually that the solar flare would cause the EMP upon this kingdom, and it's called the seat of the beast. This is where it's all going to happen at. Where is the seat of the beast? We know the beast has 7 heads and 10 horns. It's not talking about the devil. It's talking about an empire or a coalition of kingdoms. But the seat of the beast, there will be one kingdom in control, or the hegemony of this beast system. The beast system would be NATO, EU, but at the top of that would be America. This is where the woman is riding. This is the seat of the beast. That seat is none other than America. Let's prove that a little further with Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. "And there came unto me one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying," remember, the prior chapter, He's telling you about the seed of the beast and the solar flare and darkness in the kingdom. And this is the same as what happened in ancient Egypt. Now, it says, I will show you the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. These many waters represent people. It tells you that in verse 15. Verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk of the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away. This is important right here. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast. So the woman sits on the beast. The woman sits on the seat of the beast. That woman is called Mystery Babylon. Verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abomination of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. So the seat of the beast is where the woman sits, and the woman is Babylon, which is called the last kingdom that will be doing barter and trade with the whole world to be the hegemony or apex of the world. During the last days, during the second coming or the arrival of the Messiah, during the arrival of Christ. So what would it look like? We're going to go back to the prophecy, but let's take a look at what that would look like. Can a solar flare create an EMP, or is it only a nuclear attack? We're going to look prophetically, and we're also going to look at some of these videos. Let's take a look.
Videos on EMP attacks in the past, but we've never talked about them in depth. So we decided maybe we should, right? But first, just a bit of background. Back in 2011.
Look at that. The kingdom full of darkness after this happens.
Maybe we should, right? But first, just a bit of background. Back in 2011, Newt Gingrich stepped up and started sounding the alarm bells about EMPs. He talked about how it could be the mega disaster that will destroy civilization as we know it. He claimed that while there are disasters we can bounce back from,
that is going to be the kingdom full of darkness right there. Just like the Bible says. The kingdom was full of darkness.
This EMP thing could send us all back to the Stone Age, fighting over the last can of beans. When he first started preaching about the dangers of an EMP event, a lot of folks were like, whatever, Newt. Sounds like you've been watching too much sci-fi. But how the tables have turned. Fast forward to today, and it's not just the conspiracy theorists or the doomsday preppers paying attention. Nope, the United States government is now all over it. They've been hosting shindigs like this Congress meeting called the EMP threat, the state of preparedness against the threat of an EMP attack. And back
Now, what do you think would happen if this EMP, if the Bible is real and is prophesying this 2,000 years ago, and it's highly likely that this is going to happen? What do you think the aftermath will be, the effects of this? Martial law, food rationing, violence at the highest level, the purge times 1,000. You would need a small militia to even attempt to survive this. And most people don't have that. So therefore, your only way out is divine intervention from on high. You better hope and pray you're of the elect of God.
Back in 2019, President Trump signed an executive order for resilience against EMPs, which lays down a plan to identify our weak spots, get the lowdown on EMP effects, figure out how to stop those effects in their tracks, beef up our critical infrastructure, and whip up a national response plan for EMP
There's
events.
nothing you can do to stop it.
When you boil it down, there's a legit reason to get our ducks in a row when it comes to EMP attacks. If the government is taking it seriously, maybe we should too, right? Remember those Chinese balloons?
Good afternoon, preppers. Welcome to Goshen Prepping. Having the grid go down because of things like an EMP is obviously a concern, and it's actually something I hear about all the time when it comes to emails and messages to the channel. However, an EMP is not the only thing that can cause a grid to go down. A solar storm can do it too. And unfortunately, we're actually heading into a time when solar storms are absolutely on the rise, and this is a real possibility. But first, let's talk about solar storms. What damage could be caused by a massive solar storm? It could short out telecom satellites, radio communications, and, of course, our big fear, power grids, leading to trillions of dollars in damages. And this actually happened once during recorded history. A solar event of a huge magnitude occurred in 1859. It's the largest geomagnetic storm in recorded history, causing the aurorae, which is the northern southern lights, to be visible around the world. But that's not the problem. This massive solar storm also caused damage, triggering telegraph malfunctions, giving operators electrical shocks, and causing some telegraph pylons to suddenly spark and catch fire. And we're talking about during the time when electricity is really just starting to go across the nation. There's barely any telephone poles up. And of course, the telephone poles were for telegraphs. And if it actually caused fires to break out with very minimal amount of lines, what could it be like today when we actually have power lines going all across the globe? And so here is the concern. The sun is about to get more active than it has been for decades, and it could lead to power outages, grounding flights, and stunning auroras. The sun is entering a peak of activity that will last several years, lots of solar flares, and powerful bursts of energy, and again can disrupt radio communications and electrical power grids. These so-called solar maximums that we're starting occur roughly every 11 years. And, as far as the past goes, they haven't been a huge problem, except for that time we're talking about the 1800s. But here is the key. Scientists, however, fear that our reliance on electricity and interconnectivity could mean we're far more vulnerable to their effects this time around. Sure, problems with the GPS, or maybe some flights are grounded, or you can see the cool aurora borealis. That'd be awesome. That's not the problem. The problem is if we actually see a huge event that could literally cause fires to break out because of electrical wires, or even cause what looks like an EMP, because these solar storms can't cause EMPs, but the effects can be the same, can absolutely fry your electronics in your house just like an EMP can. That's something we need to prepare for. So just like with an EMP, you need to have things like Faraday cages, keep things isolated from your actual things plugged in.
So it would be the same as an EMP. Maybe I worded that wrong. Still, same effects, same results, same catastrophe, same anarchy, and America's not ready for that. Your children, you yourself, you're so reliant on your telecommunication devices, your TVs, your laptop, your computers. Especially in the Israelite community, the Israelites, I know some prominent figures in Israelites that can't even cook a cup of noodles. Or we teaching our people that, we know that nothing can save us except for who the world calls Christ. I understand that. But we still can prepare as long as we can until we get our salvation. And that's what needs to be taught more in our community. You understand? Because they're just not ready. So this is clear and evident here in Revelation 16 that a solar flare is going to happen. And then after this solar flare, this kingdom, which is the seat of the beast, which is synonymous with the whore, which is synonymous with Mystery Babylon, is going to become full of darkness. Actual darkness. This is literal. So it's Bible prophecy. And what do we do to prepare properly? Bars. Bible prophecy, and what do we do to prepare properly? We have to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments, and keep the faith in his son, because that is our method of salvation. You understand that? So, yeah, y'all, we're going to say prepare, watch, and like, share, subscribe. On to the next one, y'all.